can go ahead and get started. I know people are jumping on, but we still have a few minutes until you'll actually start presenting, Manoj. So I'll go ahead and get started.
Sounds good.
Yeah, hello, and everyone, welcome to Virtual30. Thank you again for joining us. For those who were here last week, thanks for joining for our second session. Today we have Manoj Iragavarapu. He's the Managing Director of VSOP Labs, and he'll be sharing his insights on getting the most out of your external consulting partners. So before we begin, if you were here last week, we shared a working from home picture that was sent to us from Lisa and Madison, and we just want to keep sharing them each week because I know a lot of us are still working from home, dealing with this quarantine life. So this week we received this one from Raven in Louisville with her dog Freya. So we just want to keep showing all these different pictures we get, show that we're all dealing with the same stuff. So hi Raven, I hope you're able to join us today and say hi to Freya for us. Now that she's famous, I'm sure she's happy about that. So if you'd like to be featured, we'd love to have you on our presentation. So just send your pictures to virtual30series@gmail.com. And real quick, my name's Brianna Colder, and I'm the Corporate Project and Event Coordinator here at VSOP. I've been here for about 3.5 years, and outside of this quarantine life, I'm normally located in our Louisville headquarter office. And as I mentioned—
Brianna, I think the slides are not moving.
Oh, they're not moving? Can you see them?
Not yet. We didn't see the Casey's picture.
Huh. Yeah, let me try. Let's see what's happening.
Should I guess all these?
Can you see it now?
Not yet.
Presentation.
Maybe you might want to stop presentation and restart it.
Okay.
Stop sharing and restart it.
Stop share. Now you see us. Share the screen. Can you all see it now?
There you go.
All right, you see Raven?
Yep.
Okay, well, we'll show Raven again. So thanks, Raven, for sending this in. Say hi to Freya for us again. If you have a picture, just send them to virtual30series@gmail.com and we could feature you in our next presentation. All right. Like I said, my name is Brianna Colder. I'm the Corporate Project and Event Coordinator located normally in our Louisville headquarter office. And Manoj, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. This is Manoj Iragavarapu. I'm the Managing Director on VSOP Labs side. So I handle the strategic initiatives, partnerships, execution, and all of those things.
Perfect. So today, like I said, Manoj is going to cover how to get the most out of an external consulting partner. He'll talk about how the partnerships work, the team composition, and then he'll go over the 3 different kinds: onshore, offshore, and hybrid, and discuss which is the best. And then we have a Q&A session to follow at the end. So if you have any questions, be sure to jot them down. You can use the Q&A feature or the chat feature, and we might be able to get to some as they pop in, but if not, we'll be sure to get them answered at the end. And as this is Virtual30, the goal is to get everything done, questions and all, in 30 minutes or less. So sorry about the technical difficulties at the beginning, but we should be good to go now. So Manoj, you can take it away.
Thanks a lot. Hello, everyone. So like Brianna mentioned, today we'll be going over what is the secret for getting the best out of your engaging or best out of your consulting partner. Initially, I'll start with going over the different kinds of common ways or variations of them that most people engage their customer partners with. So one of the model that you might have heard or seen most commonly is the onshore consulting model. So in this one, people reach out to their consulting partner. They'll request, I need so-and-so skill set resource that most likely will be working from either your office location or one of their office locations, but predominantly in the same time zone. That's one model, which is purely get the resources and then you manage them and you work with them. The second model is the offshore team of consultants. So you find a consulting partner that has an offshore setup. They'll have their employees or they'll hire consultants that will be working on the project mostly from their office locations, unless you have your own offshore office location. but they manage these teams partially, but everything is offshore. So the project managers, the people working, everything is offshore. The third one is a hybrid model, which is a combination of both onshore and offshore. So you'll have your management, your architects, your technical leads working from the same time zone as you, as a client, and then rest of the development happens offshore. So as you can see in the pictures, that's clearly depicted where onshore is everyone the same, offshore having part, and hybrid is partial, where both of them happen simultaneously, right? So among all these teams, one thing that we have observed through our interactions with the clients and to anyone that's that used the consulting services, or based on our experience, there are 5 types of people or the team composition that's very critical. In all the projects, all the teams, an architect, a technical project manager, a business analyst, a quality assurance tester, and an engagement manager. The importance of these roles is we definitely need an architect to make sure there is the application of best practices, code reviews, so on and so forth is happening properly. So they ensure that the work that is being done is as per good architecture and scalable architecture. And then the technical project manager deals with your day-to-day operations, your Scrum tasks, making sure of the project management tool is up to date, and they sit in the location wherever the developers are sitting. And business analyst is someone that will be capturing the requirements and documenting them accurately throughout the process, whatever is happening. And then quality assurance tester makes sure the quality is good, whatever is developed. And engagement manager is the face of the project. So the engagement manager will be making sure that the client's expectations are transferred correctly to the teams. They'll be the escalation point for the client. At the same time, there will be regular feedback loop. There will be checking with the teams if everything is on track. They're ensuring that the delivery is happening as planned originally, right? Then we'll go into each of the models that people engage with and go over what are the pros and cons of different models. The first model, which is hiring consultants in the same time zone and managing them directly. The benefit of this is the ease of communication. So people are sitting right next to you. So it's very easy to manage, very easy to communicate. There is less scope for misinterpretation or miscommunication of what are the expectations. And the cultural fit is generally the highest in this because people are from the same region, they're sitting in the same time zone or have experience working. So they not only will understand the technical fit, they'll have the business knowledge of how different things operate. So getting an understanding of the processes and then the cultural context is much better in this one. So ease of work is definitely better with onshore consultants. On the flip side, it's obviously the most expensive one. And then the risk of turnover is higher in this regard. Let's say you say to your consulting partner, I need a Java developer. And if that developer for some reason has to leave, then the risk of getting someone back and getting them ramped up and all takes more than what normally would be when you just continue someone. There is no shadowing resource or someone that's looking over what's the work that's going on to take over the work. So the risk of turnover and the cost of turnover is a little higher. And the extra effort to manage is obviously higher in this because you're managing as a client the independent resources from one vendor or multiple partners, you're managing them. So the work they do, the times they come in, and what needs to be assigned, what is the quality, all of that is being assigned as an individual, and that burden is on your management or on you as a client. And there is a less flexibility with scaling up and down. Let's say you say that today I need 2 resources and tomorrow I need 10. So you still have that 2-week ramp up at least, or in some regards, at least some 1 week. And there is a path where you have to take care of the knowledge transfer. You have to take care of bringing them up to speed and so on and so forth. And the team composition is more or less rigid. So you are getting one Java developer. It's not like you're getting one developer and you keep, you can't switch easily that, okay, now let's replace for the same amount and same time a Java to a .NET resource or an Oracle resource or so on and so forth. So there is a little rigidity towards the team composition and the scalability of the team in this particular scenario, right? And then completely offshore consultants. This is where your consulting partner has their employees and they're managing the offshore team. And everything from project management to your development, everything is offshore. In this scenario, the benefits are the cost effectiveness. Obviously, all of them being offshore, your bill rates and your pay rates, so on and so forth, there is a cost effectiveness to that. And the consulting partner will manage the attrition. Let's say there is someone that is leaving, then they'll have backup. There is a shadow that's always looking over and will replace those resources with the new resources without having to have a lot of ramp up or a lead time in switching between these resources. So more or less the impact on the work will be limited in this case. And the flexibility in team composition is also common. And I'll cover that in the secrets part, why choosing a partner with that kind of a skill is very important. But most likely, if you're choosing a partner with big enough setup, they most likely will have people with multiple compositions, and the scalability will be there because most of them maintain a bench. More than likely, you moving from 10 to 2 to 10 or 15, the scalability will be rather easy because they can plug in those bench resources in there that are in the same working environment as your current resources. The biggest problems with this kind of setup are the communication problems. There will be time zone differences. There will be a less communication, less cultural fit. So these people, depending on where they are, can range from 18 hours off to what you're working. So just managing the teams and communicating with them, especially when they don't have the business context or the cultural context as your teams, can add up to the sort of misinterpreting what you want to do or miscommunicate, some sort of miscommunication where you think they understood what you want to say and they think they understood, but at the end of the day, there is a lot of overlap. And with the time zone difference, if something is misrepresented or misinterpreted today, then you lose till next day, 24 hours, instead of rectifying them right there and then if they were sitting next to you. So, and to counter all these things, the processes should be very robust. The project management process, communication process, the documentation process, the governance, everything has to be very robust. And the partner should be extremely mature in organizing these things and conducting these things. And any risk of hiring someone that doesn't have the reputation or the experience and expertise is much higher, because you're trying to hire someone that's far away and probably don't have the direct local connection with them and don't know much about these partners. So risk of picking up someone that might not live up to their expectations is much higher in this model, right? And then there comes the hybrid model. So here you're hiring the consulting partner to manage the projects in the same time zone. So you have your project manager, your architect, and your business analyst most likely in the same time zone, sitting in your office or in one of their offices, and you have their development team that's sitting remotely. So the benefits of this is ease of communication, because you have your onshore team members that are working with you in the same time zone. The cultural fit will be there because the team that understands the business and understands the cultural composition are working with you directly, and they are working with the development team. So whatever deficiencies that we saw in the other model where you have to handle the dealing and that communication, it will be transferred to someone who has experience dealing with it. They know how to explain where the gaps can be and how to bridge those gaps. And there's a cost effectiveness, because while you're not getting the complete cost effectiveness as a offshore model, you get a hybrid blended rate that's somewhere between your onshore and offshore. So there is advantage of that cost effectiveness. And your partner will manage all the deliverables and the team attrition. They'll handle how to communicate, how to manage, how to mitigate the risks of any scope creep, so on and so forth. They'll handle it. And there will be higher flexibility in team composition. And then the scalability is much higher. So you want to add some, you can easily add, and you want to bring in different teams. You're defining what is the team that you want. I need 7 developers, and there is a scope for switching between the different skill sets within that scope that you define early on. The biggest problem is finding that right partner, especially a local partner, because you want to have someone that you can reach out to and easily work with in your location or in your time zone, and they are small enough that they can accommodate your needs and go with it. So as long as you can find a very good partner that's local, I think there is a good fit into mitigating those risks. So we'll go over what is it that makes it the secret sauce to choose the right team mix in there, or the right partner. So the biggest thing, like we were just discussing, finding that local partner that's experienced in hybrid teams. And by now you might have seen the hybrid teams have the best of both worlds. It has the quality, the communication components of onshore consultants, at the same time has the flexibility, cost effectiveness of the offshore teams. So it brings best of both, as long as you have most of, you find a local partner that is experienced in the hybrid teams. And then the next part you should do is test your partner at least for 30 days. So you give them a task. Some of them even do a free 30-day trial as well. So you can test the capabilities of their team, their processes, and you can make sure that their processes align with your processes. So their project management techniques and how they work rightly fits with how your organization is more used to or accustomed with. And you can find any gaps in there within the 30-day period, and you can see how flexible is the consulting team or the consulting partner to adjust to those changes and fit your schedule and processes. And confirming your team has, so the consulting partners team has the certifications and real accreditations. And if it's, let's say, with respect to ServiceNow or something, the relevant levels of partnerships are an extra tools where you can judge the quality of the work that you are getting, right? So again, to summarize, finding a local partner that has experience, making sure you're testing them before you sign long-term contracts, and making sure that they have the process that align with you, and confirming the certifications. If these are done properly, a proper hybrid team will be a great tool for a great success ahead. Right? Any questions? Go ahead, Brianna.
Oh, you're good. I was saying we did have a couple of questions come in. I'll read them for you, Manoj. The first one, does outsourcing IT require a long-term contract to address various projects and issues as needed?
Not really. There are several partners that are flexible with their timeframes. More than likely, long-term contracts help you negotiate better deal. If you're sure of your partner's capabilities and your compatibility, then of course long-term will get you a cost-effective deal in there, because they can plan ahead of the resources and you can plan ahead of what kind of support you need. But there are retainer teams or these hybrid teams that we have seen. People work from anywhere from 2-3 months up to 6 months as well.
Perfect. All right, we have another one. Can you change the focus of your retainer team? For example, 1 month, let's say the team works on a .NET project, and the next month, ServiceNow project. Can that be done?
Right. So that's the flexibility component of the retainer teams. That's the beauty of that model, where you're saying that while the 5 components are there, the architect, project manager, QA, BA, that components are there, you also have the team size you're defining, let's say 5 to 6 developers. So you can always change the composition of those developers as needed.
All right. And another one, how quick can your company, Manoj's company, ramp up for their company to get hot projects completed?
Right. It really depends on the type of skill set you're looking. If it is an extremely niche skill set where the resources are very low, then it might take up to 2 weeks. Otherwise, if it is your regular skill sets, like your .NET Java, or even the skill sets that are that we specialize in, like ServiceNow, MuleSoft, and so on, we can start as soon as tomorrow.
There you go. Okay, if anyone else has any questions, now's the time. You can put them in the Q&A box or the chat box. We've got 3 good ones in. That might be it for the questions today. All right, well, we can go ahead and call it a day, but first, thank you to Manoj for presenting today. If anybody would like to reach him directly, I will put his email in the chat. You can email him directly with any direct questions regarding container teams or anything like that. So thank you to Manoj, and we hope everyone is able to join us next week on the 28th with our guest panelist, Keith Gipney, COO of Vsoft Consulting. He'll be discussing the hot topic of post-COVID-19 preparedness. So I know a lot of people want to hear about that. Other than that, thank you everyone for hanging out with us today. We got you done in under 30 minutes today. So if you would like to be a panelist or you have any more questions, you can contact virtual30series@gmail.com. I put that in the chat earlier, but I will also put a link for those who have showed up today but didn't actually sign up for the weekly series. So you just follow the link in my last post and you'll be able to get it on your calendar every week and you'll be all set. And that is all we have for you today. So thank you everyone for joining us.
Thanks, Brianna. Thanks everyone for joining. Have a good day.